Hello, everybody. This is Fernando for the latest Godzilla Podcast. Another small update when it comes to Bryan Cranston and what his thoughts were of his character first dying in the Godzilla 2014 film. A couple of weeks back, he did a small update on that part, and I chronicled it on the podcast. He didn't really provide much info other than again stating that he thought it was wrong, but then he quickly changed subjects to something else. This time, though, he was on a podcast called the Nerdist Podcast, and he provided more information. It's a more lengthier, so I wanted to give everything here in person, word for word. So I'm going to read exactly what he told, and he provides some good points. So check this out. He said, that character dying at the time was a mistake. I knew it when I read it. When I read it, it said, oh, page 50, this character who was the emotional core at the center that was guiding the audience in the story up to that point, he dies? What a waste. They kind of dealt with it poorly. That's my only criticism of it, because I think it was a fun movie. It was a very successful movie. I told him that even if I wasn't doing this role, that character shouldn't die at that point. It's just bad narrative, but they were too far down the road. I was the last guy hired because I was still shooting Breaking Bad, and they kept pushing because Breaking Bad kept pushing. Finally, I was able to get in and do it. And then he further expounded on his reasoning on how it should have gone. He said that character should have been with his son, and they would have started to bond a little bit more, and then went on this journey together to go back home and be reintroduced to his grandson. And just when they're bonding and it looks like they would have a relationship, the father sacrifices himself to save his son, and that's the way he should have died. So he makes some very good points. First off, he starts off with the fact that because of Breaking Bad taking so long and kind of pushing things back behind them, literally he probably finished Breaking Bad one day and then the next day was flown over to start his scenes on Godzilla. So that meant that his influence and what he could do as far as changing things on his role was severely minimized, which kind of makes sense. If he would have been there from the beginning, like let's say when the film was first starting, and was able to be on set far more, he probably would have been able to convince the people there that, hey, let's shoot some other scenes at least where he lives, and then that way we can start doing other things with the chance to showcase that maybe, just maybe, he would sacrifice himself later on. That's another idea too that I found really interesting. I do like that idea where he was saying that if he spends a little bit more time with his son, they go back, and then just when it seems like things are going well, then a situation comes up, maybe the Muto attack there in San Francisco. He was with him at the same time, like Cranston's character was with his son for it at the same time. So maybe something like that where a situation involves where he has to sacrifice himself. That would have been a far more emotional impact than what we saw on screen. He just got cut out too early. It definitely made sense what Cranston was saying, and hopefully with the sequel, if anybody is thinking that same thing and they're gonna pull another thing like that again, this will help change their mind. So anyways, just another small update. Again, it shows that Cranston, he was happy with the film, but he just wishes that they could have just tweaked things just a little bit more to make it that much better, and I am in 100% agreement with that. So if you agree with that too, post those comments, share them below. It would be great to hear as well. So, alright everybody, thanks again as always, take care.